I'm giving her all she's got. Today I'm in the wood yard, that tree behind me, we're cutting it down. It's a dead ash tree here at my business. We're going to use two saws. We're going to use the battery 550i and we're going to use the gas 540. Two saws, not perfectly matched, but I want to try them out because I got this little 540, I love it, and I got the 550 for 2 more days. So today's the day we're going to do some cutting. Here we go. So a few days ago, Adam and I cut down a couple trees I have here at my business. This is one of the ash trees we cut down. There it is. We took all the brush and hauled that away. We just got these rounds sitting here and I got all the twigs to pick up. And that was about 4 days ago now. And we used exclusively the new 550i battery saw. The day we did it, it was 0. And there was, I don't know, 15 mile an hour winds. And it was about 15, 20 below. So wind chill, it was cold. Today's not much better. Right now it's 10 degrees and we still have about a 15 mile an hour wind. But this is the tree I need to cut down today. This is also a plum ash that I planted here 20 years ago and it's dead. The other one we cut down was right over here. This is a white ash we cut down. You can see by looking at the stump, it's got a whole bunch of marks on it where the woodpeckers are going after the emerald ash borer. And you can see here all the holes in the bark, and we just piled this up and we did haul the brush away. And I've only got about an hour, maybe an hour and a half before the sun, well, about an hour before the sun sets. I got about an hour and a half of daylight. And this is the last day I'm going to have the saw to be able to use it. So today's the day I got to be able to do one more test, a side-by-side comparison. And we're going to cut this tree down. There's not much of a tree. It's a bushy Limming sucker. If you look at that, there's not much. There's maybe 6 foot of stump and that's it. Everything else is limbs. So I'm going to cut it all up. We're going to use both saws. And there's a whole bunch of suckers coming off here. I got to trim those out too. Those are alive, but I don't want them there. We're going to cut them out. Maybe I'll leave one and just see what happens. If it grows, we'll see what happens. It might be okay, it might not. I don't know. But it looks like it's pretty much dead. So we're going to cut it down. There was a little bit of leaves on it this fall, but it looks like it's full of holes. So we're going to cut it up. And I did warm up the little 540 right here. It is a 40cc. It's the Mark III. I think I said Mark II the other day. It's a Mark III. It's got a 16-inch bar. And then we've got the new 550i, and that's got a 20-inch bar. So this should outperform that. I do have the big battery. It's the 540. So we're going to use that to cut the tree down. Then I'm going to use that one to do some cookie cutting on it and just kind of see how it runs. I'll do it back in the bush there because it's we got this arborvitae here is just all growing around it here, but that's where I gotta go in and cut it down. So that's what's going to happen right now. So as I'm looking at the tree, it's got a little more growth on this side and I think it's got a little lean that way, and that's okay because I don't want to kill this tree because this is I forget what that's called. It's a decorative tree that's got flowers on it, whatever it is. And then there's one right here, but that one, all that's left is just a little bit, and this shouldn't be here. So I'm going to drop the tree right through this hole. You can see there's an opening right there. That's where I'm going to drop it. We're going to hinge it and bring it this direction so it drops this way. That's the plan anyway, so let's give it a go. Battery is fully charged. It is the bigger battery. What's nice about this is I don't have to do this at all. None of that. You push one button, light comes on. Pretty nice. All right, hopefully I won't hit the camera. It's going to be close. Yep, 6 feet, we missed you. All right, let's take you in and I'll show you, and then we'll get to hacking on this thing. Like I said, nothing special, but it was pretty even. I notched it pretty deep, and it wanted to go this way, but I didn't want to cut all the way through, so on the hinge. A lot of this stuff growing in here, that's icky stuff. So you can see on the bottom here where all these little suckers are growing. And over here there's a bunch, and then the other tree, this one looked like it was still kind of alive, but this one here was the straighter one, and we'll see what happens, see if it'll grow, because it's probably, that's got to be 12, maybe 14 feet. So we'll see what happens. So you can see how close this tree is here. It was right against it, so I nicked it right there just a little bit. So I'm going to try to cut that stump off now, nice and low, and not hit this other tree here. There's a little space there. So I'll start on this side and cut into it and cut the stump off. And then once the snow's gone, I can come in here and trim these up better. But we're going to bring the camera in here with the tripod, and I will do some cookie cutting here with both saws so we can kind of compare them before I limb this all up. See, it's hung up nice and high for me now, so it's at a good height, so that'll work out pretty good. It's so limmy, it's just hung right in there. So I'll get the tripod and set you guys up. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is cut the stump off, and I'm going to use the battery 550 again. I see it shut itself off. There we go. And it's still got full battery, so we're good. Okay, so I'm going to cut from this side. Here. It cuts nice. Yeah, you can see it's dead on the inside. It's got some black and there's holes in there, so that means it's pretty buggy. All right, I'm gonna go grab the other saw right now, and then we'll do some comparison side by sides. Okay, I got both saws in here. First thing I'm gonna do is we're gonna cut 3 cookies off with the 550i, the electric battery one. Then we're gonna cut 3 cookies off with the 540, the gas one. And I'll try to cut just as whatever the saw can do as fast as it'll cut, and we'll get a comparison. So we'll see what happens. I'll do 3 at first, 3 cookies, and then I'll do 3 at the other one, and we'll maybe do some more, just to kind of, because I don't know, I probably got 3 feet here that I can cut, so we'll see what happens. Let's start her up. Okay, so here's the battery one to start with. No warming it up, you just go. First I'm going to cut this off. There we go. All right. So this is not going to be fair because I'm going to cut my wedge off. That's what I'm going to do. So we'll cut that up. Here we go. This is the first cut of 3. I'm giving her she's got. Okay, there we go. There was 3 with the 550i. Now, I did start up the little 540 just a little while ago, so it should be good to go. I guess I gotta choke it. Alright, so I got it started, it took me, but I flooded it, but I got it going now, and I warmed it up. So I'm gonna do some cookie cut now with the 540. I can tell you this right up front, this thing is like nothing in your hands. I think it's 10 or 11 pounds, and it feels like about 5. It's so light. There we go. Okay, now, I didn't have a timer running, but I'm going to put it on the screen. That felt to me like it was half as fast, so we'll find out. Let's go back to the 550 and try that. But again, it's not a fair comparison. Supposedly there's 10 cc's difference, but how do you compare unless you compare a 550 gas to a 550i, the battery one. But this is what I have, so I'm doing the comparison. But it's not even close, I can tell you that. So I can't imagine a 550 would be much better than this. I mean, it might be. I'm sure it's going to be. But 10 cc's, Who knows? Well, let's do the 550 again. We'll cut 3 more cookies. Again, look at that. That's how you start it. You push a button, it's on. That's it. Good. Nothing else you got to do. Just squeeze the trigger. Here we go. Whoopsie. Missed it. Okay, so I was giving it, you felt it bog down. I was pushing as hard as I could, but to still keep it running. Now let's go back to the 540 and try that again. What's the deal? I've used the choke. Okay, here we go. Okay, quite a bit slower, I have to say, number one. Number two, lots louder, harder to start, and you can stall this one real easily. You pretty much just gotta let the saw cut. If you push with the 40cc saw, you can stall it out. So there's that. All right, we're gonna cut off chunks now. We're gonna start doing limbing. We're just gonna take the tree down and piece it out right now, and I'm gonna cut, I don't know, I'll cut 5 minutes or so, and then I'll switch and cut 5 minutes and switch. In 15-20 minutes, I should have this done. All right, I'm gonna start with the battery because I can. How easy that starts, holy smokes. All right, let's start chopping away at this bad boy. Right where all the crotches are right here. To the other saw now. Okay, so oh, I gotta try to start this thing again. It only wants to start with the choke today for some reason. I don't know why. Usually it starts right up. All right, chain is loose, so I'm gonna switch saws. You can see how loose it is. It's cutting good though. So I'd have to say my impression is that, okay, number one, the 550 starts easier. You turn it on and go. Right now the battery's at 3/4. We're 1/4 down from the little bit of cutting we did, but it is cold out right now and the sun's gone now. So okay, so this starts faster. Far as there's no smell, no noise. Well, not very little bit of noise. You set it down, it's quiet. Go back to cutting. Don't have to start it again. So there's that. The battery on this does charge in about 40 minutes, the big one, and the small battery charges in about 30 minutes. So you run for about 30 minutes on this, and it takes about 40 to charge it. So if you take this one out, run this dead, put it on the charger, put the other battery on, go cut, and then you're going to have 30 minutes of run time, or you're going to have 20 minutes of run time with the small battery. And by then you're probably going to have to sharpen your chain, touch it up, maybe you move some brush, move some rounds. 40 minutes after you drained it, you go back, slap the big battery on, it's charged up, put the little one on, and then that's going to take about a half hour to charge. So with two batteries, you could swap back and forth. Also, if you really like the smell of two-stroke, I guess gas is good. My wife doesn't. When I come home, I always get the take your clothes off outside. You stink. So there's that. So this is good for that. This does weigh, with the big battery, 17 pounds. And the little 540 here, I think it's 10 or 11 pounds. I can't remember exactly. It seems a lot lighter. There's nothing to it. So I would have to say this one is probably going to be better on stuff that's, the 550 is probably going to be better on stuff that's, 8 inches and up, 10 inches and up. Whereas this one here, it's a limming saw. I mean, if you're cutting stuff that's 8, maybe 10 inches is probably about all you're going to want to do with this. You're not going to use it for felling so much. But for limming, this thing is awesome because it's so light. It's just like nothing. And I've cut with this a lot, and I don't get tired. So that's a big thing. This one, though, this is as heavy as a 572, the 550. So there's a difference. All right, we're going to go out there. I'm going to move the camera around so you guys can see what's happening out there now. All right, we're going to go inside where it's warm and do my conclusions of what just happened here and tell you about the pros and cons of both saws. So I'm going to go in where it's warm because I'm soaking wet now and it's getting dark and the winds are picking up and I'm cold. All right, the test is complete and lots of conclusions, but there's no clear winner. The 540, the gas one, is super light. And it's a peppy little saw for when you're doing limbing. And I like it for cutting small limbs. Once you get past about 8 inches, it's a little bit much for that saw, a little bit too much. Now that was dry ash, which dry ash cuts pretty hard. If it was green, it would have cut easier because you had some moisture in the wood. I get asked that all the time. People say, hey, what cuts better? I cut my logs, I let them dry, they cut better? No, they cut harder. You lose that moisture, they cut harder. So it cuts great. It's a nice little saw, and I do like it a lot, but not really much of a comparison. This 550i, lots more horsepower. You can just feel it. It's got way more torque. I'd like to compare it, and I'm going to a 550 gas. Someday. Not today, though, because I don't have one. And today's the last day I had a chance to use this 550. So the big difference, I would say, is that this one has no battery in it right now, so it's pretty light. But it's heavy with the big battery. This is 6 pounds right here. 6.5, 6 pounds, 5 ounces. So it's pretty substantial. The little battery is like 4 pounds, 5 ounces or 6, something like that. It feels a lot lighter. When you put it in, the small battery fits better. When you put it in, I gotta turn this around, it's gotta go this way. It fits more cleanly into the saw, so it's not sticking out as far. You can see here it's kind of flush. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll pull this one out and then I'll show you the other one. I gotta set this down so I can get a hold of it here. Come on, there we go. And then I'll put the big one in and show you the difference, because it does have you go. I had to get it to click. It does have more width. As you can see, it sticks out over here. And it sticks out more over here. It's just a bigger battery. And this is 17 pounds now. And 17 pounds that's a 70cc saw size. And I got to tell you, when I was cutting, I didn't like the weight. When I was doing that limbing and I'm lifting and doing all that, it's heavy. But again, you could switch to the small battery. You'd take 2 pounds off, but it still weighs 15 pounds. Whereas this is like 11. So that's 4 pounds lighter. But this one doesn't start really good all the time. I had a hard time getting it started. I flooded it. It stinks. It's noisy. I was running the rocket fuel, as I like to call it, the Husqvarna premix fuel. I call it rocket fuel. Because I had some, so I figured I would use it on it. And it works good. It just does not have as much power as this. This has a lot more power. But again, there's a big cost difference here too. I don't know the numbers. I can't tell you off the top of my head because I don't know. There only is 30 of these saws in the United States right now, these 550s. There's only 30 of them because that's how many regional reps, I think is what they are. The guys that have them, and my guy in my area called me and said, hey, I've got one. Would you like to try it? And I'm like, heck yeah. So we dropped it off a week ago now. And I cut twice with it, and then we just cut again today. It was pouring rain for 2 days, so I couldn't cut with it. I did some other videos on it. We did a comparison. I talked about some of the differences that this saw has compared to some of the other ones. This, like I said earlier in one of the other videos, this is going to come with a G rating, which is good. Good. That means it's going to have heated handlebars. If you can get one, if you're in the northern part of the United States, I recommend it. Once you get a heated handlebar saw, you won't go back. They're nice, very nice. I've got a 572 XPG and I love it. My 592 is not a G and I wish it was. I have a friend, Tyler, he has a 592G. It's very nice. There are so many times we cut on days when it's brutal outside where it's close to 0 actual temperature Fahrenheit. And then if you add a 20-mile-an-hour wind, it's like 20 below 0 Fahrenheit. So Celsius, that would be like 10 below, something like that. I don't know. I know they meet at 40 below 0, which when that happens, that's an inside recess kind of day. Anyway, it's got the brake on it. You can change batteries pretty fast. They do recharge pretty fast. It's a nice saw. This does have the longer bar than this little guy here, the 540, so that adds a little weight, I guess. I do like a 20-inch bar a lot. This little guy here, though, with a little 16-incher, is really nice for limbing because it's so easy to maneuver through your branches and stuff. You don't have to fight it, and that's where a lot of the guys that cut in the Midwest into the East, if you're on bushy trees with lots of limbs and stuff, you don't want a big 36, 40-inch bar, whatever the West Coast guys, they've got big timber. It's big, and they need the big bars to get through it, but they have no limbs forever in most of the trees I've seen. They have big, straight, tall timber. We got bushy trees here, a lot of limbs in a lot of places. Most places, there's limbs everywhere. So, and you got a lot of brush here, too, so we're wading through the brush. And when you got a 20-inch bar, my brother Ken, who cut professionally for 30 years and still does some, he likes a 20-inch bar when he's in the woods. It's just easier to maneuver. And a 20-inch bar will give you a 40-inch cut. And most of our timber is under 30, so it's never a problem. So he does his wedge cut, and then he works around the tree, and the trees go down. 24 is my favorite overall, I would have to say, because the 24-inch bar, it gives you a 48-inch cut. I rarely cut anything that big, but if I want to cut something that big, I do have a 3120 with a 42-inch bar, and I have a 3120 with a 60-inch bar. So I've got a big saw if I want one. But 24 to me works really good for what I'm doing. And again, I'm cutting a lot of firewood. I'm not doing that much tree felling and not that much big timber. So there you go. So anyway, if I had to pick one, the moment of truth, I would go with the 550. I really would. It's just got more power. And I would want one big battery and 2 small batteries is what I would pick. And the reason I would do that is the big battery would be nice if you're actually bucking logs, you're cutting rounds for firewood because you're just standing in one spot, or if you're felling a tree, it'd be nice to have that extra power. But to take that extra 2 pounds off, if you're doing limbing, I noticed it. My arms are getting tired, but I'm old, week rotten bag of oatmeal, so there's that. But that little bitty guy is fun to cut with. I know a lot of guys that have the 550 gas version. They love them. They say they're quick, they're fast, they're light, they're nimble. And apparently that is what the new 564 is supposed to be close to as far as weight, but the performance of a 70cc. And if you've seen the videos that I did with the 564 when I was at Modern, we did, I think, 3 different videos. I'd have to say that, yes, it's really close to a 70cc saw. I mean, real close. And for us old guys that need a lighter saw, it's going to be a saw a lot of people are going to like. It's going to be a really good all-around saw. It was substantially better than the 562, I could tell right away. And it was like real close to a 70cc saw, so there's that. Anyway, this is the one I would pick. Again, I would pick 2 small batteries, 1 big battery. That's what I would want with this. Beautiful saw, really, really simple to run. Plenty of power. There she is. That's all I got for today, folks. See you tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. with another video. Right now, you got to go watch some more videos. There's 2,000 waiting for you. Good night, Irene.